All right. So a question we get a lot. We're a church and we're building a new building or we're building an expansion. And we're questioning whether we should get an AV company involved or if we should just try to do it ourselves.
It depends on if you like to save money. Do you like to save money and
But
time?
isn't it going to save me so much money to do it myself?
Well, no, because then you'll spend a lot more time and money when you realize things like, oh, now I have no idea how to get cables from the soundboard to the stage.
Sure,
things
just
like
basic
that.
stuff.
Which, when we get involved with stuff like that, we could talk directly to electricians or the GC or whoever, and now all of a sudden there's a conduit path.
Right.
There's all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
And since we specialize strictly in churches, we can really point you in the right direction as far as where things need to go, because we've literally seen it all. I mean, you can't. I challenge you to build a church that we haven't seen some sort of something similar.
The same setup.
You know, and so really, honestly, it saves the church that's building the building a whole lot of money, because we can really customize things.
Well, and that would lead me to my next point is, when should I get the AV company involved? Because again, I do a lot of our system design, so I get a lot of these emails. And I'll just tell you, folks, here's the answer. My favorite email to get is, hey, we're looking at building a new building in the next couple years, and we wanted to consult with an AV company. Yes, that's amazing. And we're actually working with a church on a project that we've been on for almost a year now. And that's okay. Like, we don't mind working on the long haul projects, because what we've been able to do is I actually got to work with the architect right from the very beginning. I've worked with the electrical engineer. I'm going to be working with the general contractor and the electricians who will actually be on site. And so that's a huge advantage to this church, because their worship pastor and I, we just sit down regularly and have conversations about what he needs the system to be, and then he doesn't think about it. He goes back and does his job. He leads worship. They're still meeting. And the next time we get together, I get to tell him, like, hey, here's all the progress we've made. Here's all the design changes we've made. Here's professional drawings. We're able to get them 3D renderings. So you're just going to get so much more information all the time. And the other thing that we're really good at, being a professional AV company, is managing budgets. So at any time, this church can contact us and say, hey, the budget used to be X amount of dollars. Because of construction costs, it's only going to be this amount of dollars. And then we go back and start fixing those problems before we're hauling equipment in. My least favorite emails to get are, hey, we're going to finish construction on our new building in a week, and we're thinking about needing AV.
Yeah.
And now all the decisions have been made. I can't consult with the electrician. There's no conduit in place. We don't even know where the service panels are. Like, all these things. And we're still going to be able to do a great job. Yeah. But it's going to end up costing more.
It'll cost a lot more money.
And it's going to take a lot more time.
When you said long haul, it reminded me of a church that we did. We are definitely not afraid of the long haul.
Sure.
We had a church that was like, listen, we are going to do this debt-free, and it's going to take a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And it took 6 years.
Wow.
And we were around for the entire thing. Like, it was wild. I remember going there to talk with whoever I was talking to about where we were going to build the sound booth.
Yeah.
And that was years ago, like years and years ago. And then I remember when it finally got all done. This story ends about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was a while back. When it finally got done, I was there mixing the first service. And it was amazing, because I got to learn the history. It actually took 30 years
to build this.
To build this.
Wow.
The story, it's a church up in Crescent, and it took 30. It started 30 years, and I just remember being there, like, just privileged to be a part of something that was literally 30 years in the making.
It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and it goes to show that, like, when you work with an AV company, and we can't talk for other AV companies, we can only talk for ourselves. But I'd say the other beauty of having an AV company like us in from the very beginning is we keep meticulous notes, we do drawings, every part of the programming. And so anytime you need that system serviced after you finish your new construction, at least in our case, we can only talk for ourselves. Anytime you call us, we're going to know exactly what you're talking about. We know exactly where we put the gear in, what the gear is, what company it's from, how the warranty is. And so you're going to be able to get service calls done a lot faster and a lot more efficiently. Yeah. So I definitely think having an AV company in from the very beginning, as early as you can involve them. And I get this a lot too. We're shopping around. That's great. I don't have a problem with that. Shop around. And that's where I just say, like, get picky. Make your AV company earn it. Don't just let them sell you a boatload of gear and not tell you how to use it, because we see that all the time too.
Yes.
You know, do some interviews and get with an AV company who's going to work with you all the time. And if you want to talk to us about it, give us a call. It doesn't matter where you're located in the United States. We'd be happy to consult with you. And in a lot of cases, we can work on projects pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.